Welcome, and thank you for tuning into today's episode of Medical Device Global Market Access by Pure Global. Today, we are focusing on a critical regulatory update from Southeast Asia. Specifically, we will be dissecting the implications of Singapore's Health Sciences Authority, or HSA, and their newly released guidance on the grouping of medical devices for product registration. This updated document, identified as GN-12-1-R3, was published on June 2nd. 2026, and it introduces significant changes that will directly affect how manufacturers structure their submissions to the HSA. For any company with a presence in or plans for the Singaporean market, understanding these changes is not just important, it's essential for maintaining compliance and managing costs effectively. The primary purpose of grouping guidance is to allow manufacturers to register multiple related medical devices under a single submission, which saves time and reduces fees. The new GN-12-1-R3 revises the very foundation of these grouping principles. The most substantial change is a more restrictive definition of a device family. Previously, manufacturers had some flexibility in grouping devices with minor variations in materials or features. Under the new rules, the criteria are much stricter. Devices within a family must now share the exact same intended purpose, principle of operation, and risk classification, with only very specific, predefined variations in physical attributes, like size or shape, being permissible. Any deviation beyond these narrow parameters will now require a separate registration. Furthermore, the guidance introduces new, specific rules for grouping systems and procedure packs. A system, defined as a collection of devices intended to be used in combination to achieve a common medical purpose, can still be registered together. However, the HSA now requires that every single component of the system be explicitly listed and justified in the submission, and manufacturers must provide evidence that the system has been validated as a whole. For procedure packs, which contain devices packaged together for a specific medical procedure, the HSA now mandates that all devices within the pack must be individually registered in Singapore before the pack itself can be registered, unless they are exempt. This is a significant departure from previous practice and adds another layer of regulatory groundwork. So, who is most affected by these changes? In short, every medical device and IVD manufacturer targeting the Singapore market. Companies that have historically relied on broad device family definitions to streamline their portfolio registration will face the biggest impact. They may find that a product line previously covered by 1 or 2 registrations now requires 5 or 6 separate submissions. This directly translates to higher registration fees, increased administrative burden, and potentially longer timelines to market access. The new rules are effective for all new submissions filed on or after September 1st, 2026. For existing registrations, the updated grouping criteria will be applied during any change notification that affects grouping or at the time of device registration renewal. Given these developments, we recommend several practical actions for regulatory, quality, and market access teams. First, immediately conduct a comprehensive review of your entire product portfolio against the new GN-12-1-R3 criteria. Identify all existing and planned product groups that may no longer be compliant. Second, you must reevaluate your Singapore registration budget and timelines for the next fiscal year. The potential need for multiple new submissions will have a direct financial impact that needs to be forecasted and approved internally. Third, this is a crucial time to engage with your Singapore authorized representative. Their local expertise is invaluable for interpreting the nuances of the new guidance and developing a revised, compliant submission strategy. Finally, ensure your internal quality management system and regulatory procedures are updated to reflect these new requirements to prevent non-compliant submissions in the future. Navigating regulatory shifts like this is a core challenge of global market access. If your team needs assistance in adapting to Singapore's new HSA requirements or requires support with your global regulatory strategy, please check out Pure Global. We specialize in helping medtech companies navigate complex regulatory landscapes to accelerate market entry. For more resources, including our free AI-powered regulatory tools and global device database, please check the description of this episode. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next time.